All right, Taurus. So this week from Lee Vampire, you pulled discipline, training, consistency, and practice. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled rejection. Now, discipline for me always seems to show up when somebody has difficulty sticking with the things that they have laid down for themselves. And it's like a reminder here that you need to continue working at these things. Discipline is talking about how you have the ability to create a program of change and stick to it, and how important it is for you to stick to your commitments. But when you look at rejection, for a lot of you, that may be where the struggle is coming in. Rejection is one of those cards where this is happening for a reason, right? Rejection is spirit's protection. You do not need the approval of other people. It's saying that you don't have to be on the inside track. Just be true to yourself and you will not be unhappy. So, Taurus, I wonder here if you're feeling a sense of rejection and it may be setting you back, but discipline is like reminding you here not to give up on the things that you have set for yourself. All right, Taurus, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Nice, nice, nice. The Ace of Pentacles is perfect. And again, for some of you, it just is a situation here where, maybe you were meant to go through a rejection because it's leading you to something better. But again, discipline is saying that you need to stick to this. The thing with the aces for me is like, yes, this is a brand new beginning and a new opportunity, but what are you going to do with it? How are you going to make the most of this? The Ace of Pentacles looks great. This could be a new job. This may be a situation where you may be coming into some money. Either way, there is security and stability here. And in the past, the Queen of Cups. So for some of you, you may be dealing with a water sign. Or this could be the energy that's surrounding you. I'm kind of tilting on this. This could definitely be a person who is offering this here. But, looking at the Four of Cups, though, too, for some of you, there's two different things. It's like either, you're not seeing the opportunity that's coming through, or you're being, too emotionally stuck with, just blah feelings, especially if you faced a rejection. Now, it just depends. This could be the person that's coming through to offer you something else, but you just may not be seeing it because of what you may have been through, or it's you being emotionally stuck. Either way, the Queen of Cups, though, is talking about emotional intuition. There is a lot of a nurturing emotional feeling there too. But, we shall see what is going on with this Queen. Wow, shit, Taurus, what's up? What is up? The Queen of Swords. Now, for some of you, if you're coming out of like an emotionally difficult situation, instead of clinging to it, it's like you almost go like the total opposite here. It's like, you do a total 180 where emotionally you may have been stuck or may have been clinging to something, but then you get to where you're in the mode of like ass-kicking Queen of Swords, right? You go from emotional to immediately logical. And that, yeah, that's good to see in present conditions. But then on the other hand, for some of you, you may be dealing with two different people, and here you're looking at an air sign. But, it's like this seems to be what is revolving around the situation with these two people. Is this an offer that's coming through from two different people? Is one person just offering you something and you're thinking about it here logically with the Queen of Swords? I have the feeling that Queen of Swords is more so you than the Queen of Cups. I see that as being the person attached to, the new opportunity here with the Ace of Pentacles, honestly. That Queen of Swords feels more like you. Oh, wow. Okay, so temperance in future conditions. patience, moderation, balance, guidance, tempering yourself, right? And that's why I felt like that Queen of Swords is more you, because, here's the thing. When you cross her, she will kick your ass. I've always said that with her. She just as much as the King of Swords teeters on a line, a very fine line between being able to tolerate others and becoming extremely harsh and abusive. And I do think that Temperance is telling you just to stay calm. Just to stay calm and stay patient. Especially if you've come out of an emotionally difficult situation. I can't even communicate right looking at it. I feel like, mentally you're in a great spot. It's just that emotionally, for some of you, you may have been clinging on to something that you should have let go of. But again, that's past energy coming through. But it affected you in such a way where Temperance is coming out here saying, just calm down. Just calm down. Don't, get too quick with, decisions you make or the things that you say. Oh, yeah, man, Taurus. Wow, look at it. Shit. The Ace of Swords is your best path to follow. Again, I do feel like this is you more so than this person. And for some of you, you may have dealt with a difficult situation involving another person. This could be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a family member. Whatever the situation is, I do feel like this is you. This may have been you in the past, but this also has the feeling of another person coming through who may have been like emotionally clingy to something in the past. And then for some of you, this may have been the situation where you felt this rejection too. But I'm telling you, with that Queen of Swords and the Ace of Swords, truth, speaking your truth, seeing the truth, knowing the truth, and mental, and I mean absolute mental clarity, having that mental breakthrough. But Temperance is saying when you hit that spot, just chill. Don't get too pissed off about anything. Just be calm, right? You don't want to upset the bull, because once you do that, you're going to get your ass kicked, which again is why I feel like the Queen of Swords is you. But the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles are really good to see. Really good to see. Nothing is being kept from you. You will know everything that you need to know, especially if you have something new coming through here. If it's being offered by somebody else, you're not going to have any questions on, what their motives are or anything like that. Mentally, you're in a perfect spot. But just don't go into ass kick mode. Not yet, right? Oh, in your environment. So there is a decision that you need to make. Now, for some of you, it definitely could be a situation where you're juggling two different people. But I still see that Queen of Swords as you. When you're looking at the Two of Pentacles in this deck, it's suggesting that this person is happy that they're able to manage these things and keep things up in the air, like they can maintain this balance easily. But every time I see the Two of Pentacles, I see somebody who is just doing the balancing act. They're not doing anything else. What is it that you feel like you're juggling? What is it that you feel like you're having to keep up in the air? And when do you get to the point where you're like, fuck it, and just let things drop? And that's where I worry about, with Temperance sitting there. If you get to that breaking point, right, you don't want to get too mean, right? And Taurus, I'm telling you, don't get too mean. Don't get too brutal. And again, it may be a situation here where you're dealing with another person. And it's like, for some of you, it just may be a situation where you have something new coming through, but then you also have this attachment to somebody else in the past that may be like clinging. Like I feel like Klingon energy, right? With the Queen of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. Because here you are like, damn it, I've got other things I'm trying to work on here. And then I'm still, got this thing dragging on my feet, But again, the Ace of Swords, mentally you're in a perfect spot. I mean, you are sharp. Your mind is like right on. You're able to clearly think through situations here, especially when you're looking at the Two of Pentacles. So I don't see it as like a major thing. But again, Temperance, don't start kicking ass, right? Don't do that just yet. Oh, your hopes and your fears, the Three of Pentacles. So now, this may be a situation where you're dealing with somebody at work. Looking at the Three of Pentacles, I always think of, and with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like a new job. Doing something new, creative, that has the potential for some financial gain. But it is about, showing off your skills and your talents and being recognized for that too. It's not so much the Eight of Pentacles where you're refining it, but you're just starting to show off what your talents are and you're being recognized. But then the other thing too is the Three of Pentacles does talk about the group, working with others toward that common goal. And it may be a situation where you're working with a person here, and there may be a balancing act with having to deal with them emotionally and having to deal with them at work too. And I think for some of you, you just need to have some patience. You just have to have some patience. Oh, and then the outcome. Wow. Taurus, shit. You have Temperance and the Emperor connected here. Now, the Emperor, when you're looking at that as your outcome, this, to me, I think is just as much... It's the energy around it is just as perfect as the Hierophant for you, because I see this as stable. It is order and control out of chaos. And seeing that coming out with the Two of Pentacles being in your environment is great. It is great. You are getting your shit together. You're getting control over the things that are going on, whether you're dealing with another person or you're dealing with a person at work. You're dealing with new work opportunities, whatever it is, mentally, you're in a fantastic spot. If you're dealing with somebody who may be a little bit difficult at work, I think you take control of the situation. But then the other thing is, again, Temperance, right? You got to be patient. You got to be patient with the people that you're working with. Don't start kicking people's asses just yet. Right? That's the thing that I keep hearing, no ass kicking, Taurus, don't do it. But overall, the energy here looks really beautiful. It really does. Even if, you were in a situation in the past where, you may have been emotionally stuck. And the only reason why I say that is because of the Four of Cups falling out and then seeing her here, right? You kind of get to the point here where you start to realize that maybe that's something that you don't need to continuously hang on to. It's almost like, why am I juggling that along with the other things that I'm having to do, And I do think you get to a point here where you drop it and you get control. You get control over it. And when you're looking at the Three of Pentacles, I always love when this card shows up for Taurus, because to me, it tells me that you're doing the right thing. And when you're looking at discipline and sticking to your commitment, absolutely, that's what you're hoping to do, especially if you're doing something new, right? But mentally, you look great too. I mean, you're making smart decisions, and truth is all the way around you. And, for some of you, it may just be a situation here where, you finally see the truth of, needing to let go of things that you may have been emotionally stuck with, right? And you start kicking ass, but in a different way. All right, Taurus, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what other messages there are for you guys. But I do like seeing the Emperor come out for you. Being in control of your world and what is happening. And then you have Temperance, and then change. When you're looking at the solar plexus, your third chakra, this is your sense of self. It is your ego. It is your identity. And I'm not seeing any reason why it should be blocked. You are very in tune with who you are and where you're going. And there is a new path emerging, absolutely, with the Ace of Pentacles being there and even the Ace of Swords. And things are changing. Things are changing where you start to get better balance in your life and getting control over whatever craziness may have been going on. Right? If I could talk right. If you feel like you're juggling too much, you're going to get control. Right? Things are going to start to change for you. And I think, when you look at the solar plexus and you're looking at change, for a lot of you, it's going to be a change in your sense of self, and that is where the new path is emerging. Let go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally, and then you have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Shit, Taurus, what is going on? Now, when I see you deserve love, to me, it's suggesting somebody that's not understanding that, hell yeah, you deserve to be loved just like everybody else. You are no different than anybody else, and you do deserve to be loved. You are loved and you are loved, right? Now, for those of you who are in a relationship looking at letting go of control issues, I mean, yeah, Taurus, really, I don't even have to say anything about it. But when you're looking at pay attention to the red flags, I think the red flags are you needing to feel like you need to have control over everything. And when you're looking at the Emperor coming out, that may be the warning here for those of you who are in a relationship. If you're having some inner changes happening within yourself and you're learning how to deal with situations differently and letting go of emotional difficult things in the past, you have to be careful about being a little bit too controlling. And I do think that those are the red flags that you need to look out for. I'm not seeing a situation where it would have been different if this would have been something else. But because you have this and you have the Emperor and then it's saying pay attention to the red flags, I think for Taurus, that is the red flag. You don't want to be too controlling within a relationship. But, overall, Taurus, the energy around this feels really good. I do think that, for some of you, yes, you definitely need to stick to whatever commitments you have set for yourself. Absolutely. And if you face rejection, it doesn't matter because where you come out at looks great.